What is up, YouTube? This is Chris, I'm Professional Dad, and I'm back with another knife video. Just like yesterday, we're still dealing with some pretty nasty weather outside. We're right in the middle of a massive winter storm that's going on pretty much in a large part of the country, and it is nasty everywhere. It's cold, icy, snowy, and all around just miserable outside. So a few people reached out to me and they said, "Hey Chris, do you have any knives that are great for like survival situations, maybe bushcraft, processing wood?" I told them that I had some videos out like that, but I could make another one. So yesterday we talked about knives that were great for those kind of situations, survival and bushcraft situations. We talked about knives that were good for beginners, not the skill sets that they need. That's videos that they have to watch on YouTube somewhere else. Skill sets are things that they need to learn before they put themselves in those situations. We talked about the knives that they would use while using those skills. We talked about knives that were easy to maintain the edge and sharpen because they are beginners, and also knives that were friendly to a budget, far more affordable options. Now, we had a really good time doing that, and we talked about some really good knives because survival and bushcraft are two totally different scenarios, but sometimes a knife might overlap and be good at both. Today what we're going to do is we're going to take a step up that ladder and we're going to talk about next level knives that are more premium options with the price tag, but also are stainless steel. So they require more knowledge and skill when it comes to honing the edge and sharpening and maintaining the edge and the blade. Obviously something that somebody can do with a little bit of practice, and that knowledge is out there too on YouTube videos. Even I've got videos out there about sharpening. So it's something that anybody can do, but you might have to practice at it. But these are next level knives. Now, before I talk about a single knife, I want to do what I always do. I want to welcome anybody that's stopping by my channel for the very first time. If you've just recently found my videos and you've checked me out, I want to say thank you. Welcome. I appreciate your time. Hopefully you like what you see. We talk about knives in EDC almost every single day. Now, because you've just found me, you don't know this, but we've got a big contest going on right now. On March the 3rd, we're going to go live. And in that live stream, we're going to give away a $200 budget that the winner gets to use on knives or a knife or EDC items. Now you might ask, what do you mean by budget? Exactly that. They have a $200 budget that they get to go to some place like Blade HQ, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, Knife Center, any place that sells knives and EDC items. Not Walmart, not Target, not Lowe's, places like that. This is knife and EDC items. And they get to go spend up to $200. Make sure that they spend every dime. And it's on me as a way of saying thank you to the entire community for all their kind words and support. Now, the way that you're in that, if you're not already, and if you've just found me, you're probably not. Well, don't fret. It's really, really easy. All you have to do, you're already on my channel, right here, the Unprofessional Dad. You have to find the video on my channel that says Huge Knife Budget Giveaway. And on that video, you have to leave one comment. That's it, and you are in. One comment on Huge Knife Budget Giveaway. And on March the 3rd, we're going to use a random comment generator to pick one comment, and that person is the winner. And they get to spend the $200 budget. Now, we just gave away a $200 budget. We had a lot of fun doing it. And that person picked some really good knives. Some sweet, sweet knives. And we can't wait to do it again. And by the way, at that live stream, we're also going to have some things that are present for the people that are present. That didn't make no sense right there. We're going to have some giveaways for the people that are present at the time in the live stream. But you do not have to be in the live stream to win the $200 budget. All you have to do is leave one comment on Huge Knife Budget Giveaway. Now, also, I ask that if you like what you see, and if you're going to join that contest, I'd ask for a subscribe to my channel and a like on the video. It's not a requirement, but I would like that and appreciate it very much. I'm trying to make my channel grow so we can share this knife love and knife knowledge to as many people as possible. So again, it's not required, but I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel and leave a comment, or leave a like, I'm sorry. You'll also learn me. I get tongue-tied a lot. It is what it is. People that watch my videos have come to accept that. They probably laugh at me a lot, and it's okay. I'd laugh at me too if I was watching me. But anyways, leave a comment and you're in. All right, so as I said yesterday, survival and bushcraft are completely different situations. Survival is, let's say that you're in a blizzard You get snowed in somewhere in the middle of nowhere. No help is anywhere around, and you don't know when help is coming. Now, Dual Survival on the Travel and Discovery Channel has done episodes like that. Survivor Man, Les Stroud, he's done episodes like that. Bear Grylls has as well. Now, bushcraft is more of a situation where you're going camping, or you're just out in the bush, procuring firewood and processing firewood. Two completely different scenarios. Both of them require a really good knife. These knives are the knives that I'm going to recommend. Some of them are good at both. Some of them are more good at one than the other. But there's some really nice knives. Now, all of them are stainless steel. All of them are not budget options. These are premium knives. And the very first one I'm going to show you is a knife that is more in line with survival than bushcraft, but it can handle bushcraft, and it is the Benchmade Adamas. Now, the Benchmade Adamas is made out of crew ware. It's a fixed blade knife that has no scales. Now, you can put scales on this, or what a lot of people do is they wrap it in paracord. So you have a comfortable handle, soft handle. Now, in the situation like it is, somebody even pointed out in my 3-knife challenge, this is a metal knife. So in a blizzard type situation, it would be a nightmare because it's going to be cold and sticking to everything. So in this situation, we're going to pretend that it does have a handle or it's wrapped in paracord so that it is more comfortable on hand. But crew ware is extremely durable and tough. Now, there's videos on YouTube right now, people trying to break this thing and just destroy it, be as destructive as they can, and this thing is a tank. It just takes it and shakes it off. But there's some really good things about this knife, other than just the fact that it's crew ware. It has an incredibly good edge with a really nice belly. It also has a really nice swedge on the top of the spine here. That is done for a couple reasons. Number one, it's done to lighten a lot of the weight because this is a big chunk of crew ware. But another thing it's done with that long swedge right there is it's made a very pointy, piercing knife. Let's say that you were in a survival situation, and like Les Stroud did on his video, or Dual Survival, and you had to strip down pieces of an automobile, or you had to puncture through a door or something metal. This is going to be extremely good at doing that. If you need to chop at a tree or a limb or baton wood, you can do that with this. This is a knife that is extremely durable. You can wrap it around and make it onto a stick or a limb, and you can make a spear out of it for hunting or defense. Just so many great options with this knife. It is extremely durable. It's extremely tough. It's extremely sharp. Holds an edge extremely well. And this knife is all around great at survival situations. Now, let's talk about a few situations that it's not the best at. Let's talk about a few hang-ups that it might have. When you're talking bushcraft, this knife can handle it. Absolutely. This knife can handle pretty much anything you throw at it. But this knife, the geometry of the blade, the swedge on top, it is overall not, plus the fact of the way that the handle is right now, trying to baton on this would be really hard on your hands. The shock wave would go right through the handle and right into your hand. So batoning with it, chopping with it, you're going to feel it in your hands. Feather sticking, it can do it, but the geometry is not designed for that, so it's not going to do it as well. This is a knife that is great in any situation if you find yourself in that said situation. But it's not ideal for any situation. If I'm in the bush and I've got this knife on me, I'm okay. I'm going to be able to process wood with this. Absolutely no doubt. It won't do it the easiest. It won't do it the best, but it will do it. But if I'm in a situation to where I'm in a survival situation and then I need a knife that can handle any situation thrown at it and it's going to be able to live up to the task, that's this knife right here. Where other knives are going to be really, really good at bushcraft, but they might not be ideal for a survival situation. Puncturing and piercing, putting it on the end of a stick and hunting with it, processing food and game, Some of these knives are going to be good at those things, some of them aren't. This is a knife that is not the best at bushcraft, but overall can handle it with no problems. Also, if you are in a survival situation, this is a knife that's going to help save your life. Absolutely, no question. Now, these things run about $250. I got this for $200. I bought it at Buzz Gun Shop, brand new. I don't know why they sold them as cheap as they do, and they still got a few here in Lexington, Kentucky at Buzz Guns. They've got several of these for $200. Anywhere else I've found them, they're $250. Online, they're $250. At all the other retailers, they're $250. But Buzz Guns in Lexington, Kentucky, they're selling them for $200 a piece. I'm pretty sure you can buy those online at $200 a piece as well, and they'll ship them to you. So it's a really good place to check out if you want one of these Adamuses. Now, they have this as a folder too, but I like the fixed blade. It's got a really cool sheath here. That's a thin sheath. Just like the handle is thin, the sheath is really thin, so you can stick it to your chest. You can put it on a backpack. You can paracord wrap the handle. You can also paracord wrap the sheath. You can, it's got straps that come with it, so you can stick it to a molly rig. You can stick it to a backpack, whatever. It's thin, so it has a low profile, but again, this is one of the most rugged and strong knives that you are going to come across. This is a knife that it can handle anything that you're going to throw at it, whether it's a superstar. This is a knife that you ever heard that old saying, jack of all trades and an ace of none? I said it yesterday about a knife. This is the knife in the stainless steel option. This is a jack of all trades, but an ace of none. It's not going to master anything, but it's going to be able to handle everything. The Benchmade Adamus. Now, this next knife is a knife that's not going to be very good at a survival situation. Unless you're literally surviving in the middle of the woods and everything that you're going to have to deal with is only wood. And it is the Joker Trampero. Now, Joker has the Nomad, which is a bigger version, 6.5 inches. They've got the Campero. They've got the Nessmuck. All of them are fantastic knives. I love them all. I've had the Campero before. They are really, really quality knives that are capable of, they're just superstars at bushcraft. They really are. They've got a flat grind, so they're good slicers. They're good at feather sticking wood. They've got a really sharp spine so that you can strike a ferro rod real easy to start a fire. They have a spear point blade. So again, you can use this for piercing. You can use it for self-defense against an animal or something. God forbid if you was in that situation. You can also use this for processing meat. If you was to catch some game or something like that and you needed something that is a slicer or a skinner, this is going to be really good at doing that because of the flat grind. Now it comes in Sandvik 14C28N blade steel. That's a Swedish blade steel. Very, very capable, very good blade steel. It's very strong and rugged. It's not on the level of like a Crewwear or Magna Cut, but again, it is very, very good. It's a very strong steel. It is also not as hard to sharpen as like Crewwear or Magna Cut. It's far easier. It's harder than like your carbon steels that we talked about yesterday, but it is easier than the more premium options like the Crewwear and Magna Cut or Elmax and Maximet and things like that. This is going to be easier to sharpen on the edge than that. All the way around, it's got a leather sheath that comes on a dangler, a really quality leather sheath. You can take the dangler off and put it just as a belt loop, or you can use it as a dangler. It has a really nice lanyard here so you can wrap it around your hands. One of the things that you have to consider is if you are in a survival situation, your hands are going to be really cold in those situations. Bushcrafting, your hands might be worn out and tired. They might be sweaty. So a lot of times you want to make sure that you have a way of keeping good retention on that knife with your grip. This knife might be an issue with that. Because of the cold, it might be harder on your hands. Again, we talked about the shockwave, different things like that. This knife is going to be easier because it does have wooden scales. Very, very nice knife. Very nice scales. It's got black liners, G10 liners on the scales, just all the way around. Just an excellent made knife. Really, really well made. Now, again, if I need to baton with this, it's going to stand up to it. It's going to do it. Maybe not as well as some of these other knives I'm about to show you, but you can baton with this. You can feather stick with this. You can cut notches out of wood if you're trying to build a shelter. You can cut rope with this. You can cut cloth with this. You can cut tarps and plastic with this. You can do animals and game with this. You can dig with this if you need to dig with it. All the way around, this is a very, very quality bushcraft knife. Survival, it's not the same level as this is for survival. This is more of a bushcraft knife. But if I was in a survival situation, a lot of those situations this knife is going to be able to handle. You know, is it going to be great at stripping down a vehicle or puncturing a metal car door or something else like that? If you had to do it, no. Could it do? Absolutely. Is it going to be great at it or ideal? No. This is a bushcraft camping knife, you know, that kind of thing. Just a fantastic knife. Now, these things are around $100, give or take $10. You know, some of them are a little more, some are a little less, depending on where you get them, if you get them on sale or not. I highly recommend the Joker knives. They're fantastic knives. Fantastic knives. They have a really good reputation. Again, feather sticking, batoning, processing wood, you can do all that. But the great thing about this knife is that you can literally go from that to slicing vegetables, to processing food for meals, prepping your food. You know, like the Scandi grind on the Mora we talked about yesterday. You can do all that feather sticking and batoning and stuff, but it's not going to be great at prepping food. This can do the wood processing, and it can prep food because of the flat grind. So just far more versatility in this knife. It does cost more than that Mora as well. This is around $100 when that Mora was less than 50. Well, again, remember that sharp edge. That's really important when you're talking about a bushcraft or survival knife, because you do have to strike a ferro rod. Also, you might have to get a piece of bark or something, and you have to scrape that to get some tinder up to start a fire. This is going to be able to do all those things. A rounded spine is not going to be able to do that. It's going to just slide right across. This is going to be able to scrape up what you need. Just a million different things that I could think of that this knife could do if you was in a bushcraft or camping situation. I don't want this knife to be my knife if I'm in a survival blizzard situation, life or death. But if I'm in a bushcraft situation, I'm good with this knife all day long. I don't mean to say that really, because if I'm in a survival situation, as long as I got a knife, I'm good to go. The best knife in that situation is the knife that you have. Doesn't matter what it could be, a folder. As long as you got a knife on you, you're ahead of the game. That's all you need. So I don't mean to say that this knife can't, do all those things, because it can. Hopefully you know what I mean. Again, they all are good at some things and not as good at others. And this is a superstar at bushcraft. Now, this next knife is a knife that's going to be good at both. A superstar at both. And it is the Lion Steel M5. Now, the Lion Steel M series, the M4s, the M6s, the M7s, they are just, these knives are beasts. They really are. These knives are beasts. They are tanks. Now, there's so many things going on with this knife right here. Number one, it's gorgeous. Look at this. Forget the blade. I've got fingerprints and stuff on it. I should have wiped that off. But look at how beautiful that knife is. Somebody even said in my 3-knife challenge that this would not be the knife they picked just because they couldn't use it because it was too pretty. And I understand where they're coming from, because this is a beautiful knife. But this is the Lion Steel M5. Now, it has an excellent leather sheath that has a belt loop, good retention on it, excellent stitching. This is an Italian-made knife. It comes in Bowler M390 blade steel. Now, some people don't like the Italian-made Bowler M390 blade steel. I completely understand. The heat treat is done different, so some people don't like it. It's a little too soft, but it is what it is. That's what this knife is in. So we're talking about it. I think it can handle most things. But it is, again, it's a personal preference. Some people just don't like it. I think it's great. Um, it's not the same as like a magnet cut or anything, but this knife can stand up to a lot. Now let's talk about a few things about this knife that sets this knife apart. I mean, that makes this knife the superstar that it is. All right, first of all, you've got this excellent G10 handle. This G10 handle is what you called canoed or tacoed. What that means is they take one piece of G10 and they literally, see that? It's a wraparound. So they take one piece and they carve the middle out. They just take the middle right out and then they set this right down in the middle like a taco or like a canoe. They set the blade right down in there and then they put 2 pins through it. So you've got one solid piece of G10, textured G10 that goes all the way around the handle. That gives you a really firm grip with a lot of integrity in that grip. You've got a comfortable grip. You've got a full tang. That's a big one. You always want a full tang in these type of knives. Like yesterday we talked about the Mora and it didn't have a full tang, so that limits the amount of things that you can do. Beating and banging on it, chopping with it, stuff like that. This has got a full tang just like the other ones we just showed. That's a big win in these situations because you're going to have a lot more capabilities and force. You can put a lot more into that knife when you're using it. Now it's got a hammer little spot down here that you can use for like breaking glass or windows or coconuts, whatever you can beat and bang with it like a hammer or a club. It's got a spot right here that's just one little spot. Now it's not very long. It's just a very, very short spot, but that has a very sharp edge on both sides of the spine so that you can strike a ferro rod. But if you look right here, it's got a swedge with not so sharp. That makes this more of a piercing knife so that it can pierce and stab. So it's giving you the best of both worlds. It can pierce and stab, but it can also strike a ferro rod if you need to. It's got an excellent blade right here, excellent grind with the big long belly. So it's got a lot of cutting edge and it's got a flat grind. So this is a good slicer. Now the geometry of this is not going to be the same slicer as this knife right here. Look at the difference in the blade stock. One is pretty thin, one is a lot thicker. So this has a really nice thin flat blade stock with a flat grind, so this is an excellent slicer. This is a good slicer as well, just not as good. All the way around, just an excellent knife. You can chop with this, you can baton with this, you can feather stick with this, and when I say it's going to go through that wood like Moses through the Red Sea, this thing is going to make easy work of that wood. Feather sticking, batoning, chopping, whatever you got to do. If you need to build a shelter, this knife is going to be able to do it. If you need to strip a vehicle, this knife can do it. If you've got a door in your house that's been locked and you can't find the keys and you're just angry, you've got a teenage kid in there and they ain't coming out and they're listening to their music too loud and you just had enough and you need to get in that door. I'm just playing. Obviously, I'm just playing. This thing is just capable of so many different things. It is gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's a work of art. But I'm telling you, this knife has some capabilities. If you are in the bushcrafting, this knife is a knife that's going to make your job so easy. You're going to love chopping at wood with this and batoning and feather sticking. You're going to love making notches in the limb so that you can build shelters. You can dig with this. You can also go over to an animal if you've caught game or something and you're processing your food. You can go over and do that with this knife. You can prep meals with it because of the flat grind. Or again, you're in a situation that's survival in a blizzard and you don't know what the situation you're going to run across is. This knife right here is one heck of a knife to have on your side. I don't care what nature throws at you, you're going to be ready to deal with it. Now your skill set might not be up to par, but the knife sure as heck will. This knife is going to be able to handle whatever you come across. And it's going to take a licking and keep on ticking, as the battery commercial says. I love this knife. I mean, I can't say enough about the Lion Steel M5. I cannot say enough about this. Now, I think they've got the M4 and they've got the M6, they've got the M7. Now, here's the thing. The reason I like this is because when you're going the longer ones, you're getting into machete territory. But when you're going to the shorter ones, you're getting more into an EDC type of knife. Obviously, it's still bigger than an EDC knife when you're talking the M4. But when you are batoning and you're feather sticking and stuff and you're out doing real bushcraft and survival task, you want that extra length on your blade. Every inch of cutting edge is more capabilities that knife has. So the M5 is like a happy median between, obviously it's the median between the M4 and the M6, but it's like that Goldilocks knife. It's not too long, it's not too short, it's just right. And the last knife that I want to talk about is, in my opinion, hands down, the best knife on this table. And I've got other ones that I could have showed, but this video is already too long, so I'm going to finish it up really quick. This is the best knife on the table. No questions asked, hands down. Everybody that watches me already knows what this knife is before I even pull it out. And if you already have seen these knives, I apologize. New people do find me every day and they ask me these things, so I have shown some of these before, and I apologize. But it's fun to talk about these knives, so I love the opportunity to talk about them again. But this is the Lost Trail 5 by TJ Schwartz. It is, in my opinion, one of the best fixed blade knives on the market ever been made. I've got his Overland, I've got this, and both of them are excellent knives. Now, this is an A2 tool steel. The handle is what you call Richlight. Now, this handle is a full tang handle. It's got a full overhang down here of the tang, like a window breaker or a nut cracker or whatever, a walnut breaker or whatever they call it, skull crusher, whatever they call it. This knife, the ergonomics on this Richlight handle are perfect. The weight is good. It's got a sharp spine for striking ferrule rods. It has an excellent grind, flat grind for feather sticking, for batoning, for processing food. You can use this for anything. I mean, there's nothing you can't use this knife right here for. This is the best knife on the table. This is, if you took this Adamas and you took, or I won't even see that. I'll say if you took the Adamas and you took this Joker right here and you put them together to make more of a perfect knife, that right here is what you got. Watch videos on YouTube of this thing. This is the best knife. I'm telling you, I love this knife. Now, when you order it from TJ Schwartz, who in my opinion is one of the best fixed blade makers on the market right now, he's doing some awesome stuff. And he's got more stuff coming out every day. You can actually modify this. You can make the blade color what you want. You also get to pick the handle color. The sheath is Kydex. Excellent retention. You also get to pick the color of the Kydex, and you get to pick the color of these ringlets right here. Excellent retention. You hear that snap? That's so satisfying. You got a belt loop. All in all, this knife can do anything. I'm telling you, you're bushcrafting, this is the perfect knife for it. If you're out there in a survival situation in the blizzard and you've got to take a tank apart, this is the perfect knife for it. If you are in a situation to where you're in the woods and a pack of animals are coming on you and they're wolves and stuff, you need something other than this. But if a knife would do the job, this would be the perfect knife for it. I'm telling you, this knife is amazing. Again, A2 tool steel, Richlight handle, Kydex sheath. These things are coming in right now at $200. I paid just over $200 for this knife. I can't really say too much about the capabilities or the limitations, because the capabilities are whatever you throw at it. The limitations are very few and far between. It's just an all-around excellent knife. If you want to spend $200 and get the most that you possibly can, look no farther than the TJ Schwartz Lost Trail 5. You're going to love this knife. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to be more than you can imagine. And once you hold it in your hand, you're going to understand. $250 knife, $100 knife, almost $200 knife on the M5, and I'm telling you right now, I would trade this for all three of those. If one person, I love this knife so much. If I had all three of these and somebody had this, I would trade all three of those for this knife. I love this knife that much. This is an excellent knife, guys. And if you are looking for a knife to invest your money in, I'm telling you, I cannot recommend this knife enough. It is that awesome. I recommend all these knives. Every one of them is great. Every one of them is going to do you well. I just love this one the most. I think that this is by far the most capable. It really is. It's a different level. The geometry of the knife, the weight of the knife, the balance of the knife, the tool steel of the knife, all in all, everything put together, the rich light handle, the way it gets tacky and grippy, the more wet it gets, the more sweaty your hands get. All in all, everything about this knife is made to be a next level premium fixed blade knife. So I recommend all of them. Every one of them is going to do you well. You are going to be happy with any of them. But if you can only get one, that's the one I would recommend. If I was going to say number 2, it would obviously be the Lion Steel M5. No question. It would be that. I mean, they're all great knives. All of them are. I'll tell you this, though. That $200 budget would go a long way getting any of them. Any of them. That $200 budget would go a long way, guys. So tomorrow I've got a different kind of video. I'm excited about doing it. I just wanted to finish this up and give some people some options for bushcraft and survival. I told them I would, and these are some more premium options. There was a lot more knives that I could have thrown on this table for this, but these were the ones that I thought were the most capable for those two situations with stainless steel. Remember, all 4 of these are harder to sharpen, so you need to learn how to sharpen stainless steel and work with it and hone that edge and stuff. If you're a beginner, you need to learn that before you go to the woods or to a survival situation. You need to know how to maintain your edge before you put yourself in any situation with your knife. The worst thing to do is have a knife and let it go dull and not know how to sharpen it. But if you take care of your knives will take care of you. Remember, a sharp knife equals a happy life. Guys, I'm Christian, I'm a professional dad. I hope you like this video. If you do, please give it a like. Leave a comment in the description. What knife do you have that's your favorite bushcraft or survival knife? Have you ever been in a survival situation you've had to use a knife before? I'd love to hear all those stories. But let me know what knife you have that you use in those situations. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. I can't wait. Remember, huge knife budget giveaway. Go leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel, guys. I appreciate it. I will talk to you all tomorrow. I'm Christian, professional dad. I'll see you later.